In Lesotho, a country of a little over 2 million people, a woman's decision to disclose an assault is dependent on the type of perpetrator. Disclosure is more common if the perpetrator was a stranger. Also, community members are typically not supportive of women who report having been sexually assaulted and often blame the woman for causing the assault. Newsday listened to the story of a 16-year-old who was raped at 14 years. The perpetrator got away with it.
He entered my room and approached me and started froggling the blankets. I woke up and looked at him, and the moment I tried to speak, he pulled his knife out and threatened that if I screamed, he will stab me.
The rapist had a knife and threatened to kill Dineo if she made noise. Her sisters in the other room didn't hear a thing.
When he finished raping me, he said if I told people around me, I would be a laughing stock. But on his way out, he ordered me to lock the door up. I was deadly, sitting all numb. I couldn't move.
She sat there until the morning at 6:30.
After some time, I went to fight my sisters in another house. A part of me didn't want to tell him, but I couldn't control myself. And I told them that there was someone in the house and he raped me. They asked me who he was, and I replied, I don't know him. They cried. I was still traumatized from what had just happened to me because I never imagined that such a thing would happen to me. They went to the owner of the residence and he told us to go to the clinic, and when we got there, the nurse ran tests on me. When they finished, they told me the perpetrator did not impregnate me. However, they gave me ARV medication. We went to the police station.
They reported the incident to the police, who seemed to believe Dineo had a relationship with the suspect and had been invited to the house.
What really annoyed me there was when I was asked if the rapist had been called by me or if he was my boyfriend. I lost my temper, and because I couldn't handle the harsh words the police asked me, so I left. Then a police officer followed me outside and said she knew I was angry, but they were just doing their jobs, and asked that I should come back inside. I came back. They continued asking me questions like if I know the person who raped me. I told them I wouldn't know him because he was covering his face, but he was shot in height. There was someone who lives in the same village that I suspected. He's always looking at me in a sexually perverted way, coming to me and asking how I am. Sometimes I feel like he's following me around. I went to the police and told them I found the culprit, and they said they would come to Hamagage as soon as the next day. And when I arrived at school, I also told the principal.
Dineo started having suicidal thoughts. She didn't understand why this was happening to her.
I would often stay indoors and cry. I started feeling like a target. I grew uneasy whenever I came across a man. Being alive lost all meaning to me. I was taken for counseling. Following our sessions, I returned back to school and my teacher linked me up with people from REPSI. We found this girl through her teacher. Just as we train children on issues regarding psychosocial support on ending child marriage, when her teacher realized she has problems, she thought of us because she's one of the teachers we trained on psychosocial support issues, because she could see that the child was not okay. This child hadn't accepted what had happened to her. She was always scared. She was always gloomy.
She was then introduced to REPSI, the Regional Psychosocial Support Initiative, a leading African psychosocial support organization. Dineo was described as sad, reserved and lonely when she first attended REPSI meetings.
There was a time when children were explaining their life stories. What really bothered us as parents was how we didn't consider our children's feelings in different situations. During the communication platform we opened, it was when she got comfortable and shared her sexual abuse story. At that time, she spoke out, but when she did, tears kept falling from her eyes. I'm sure the police have forgotten about me and my case. I've accepted, and I will seek justice my own way because they have failed me as the law. From a distance, you could see a child who was even scared of herself. She could not even engage in activities that were taking place around her. She would often be seen in tears. The only thing I knew around that time was that I no longer wanted to live after what happened to me. But REPSI gave me strength and hope. I realized that I can use my experience to help people who have been through the same ordeal. I will share my story and painful journey and encourage them to speak, to talk to people they are comfortable with. This will help release their pain and have their lives back so that they can also live free and happily. My future plan is to see myself running a big company, sitting in my own office. I want people to share their emotions and sorrows with me because I also learned to share with other people. So I want to help them so that when they leave my office, they feel like they want to be introduced to a new world, living a new life. That's why I want to become a psychologist when I grow up.
Mrs. Moore Homotel from the Department of Social Development further explained that it is everyone's responsibility to ensure the safety of vulnerable people, as in most cases of abuse are done by familiar faces towards the victims.
The issue of the security of children and their welfare, as well as the elimination of abuse against them, starts with us as their caretakers. If we truly protect these children, they will be protected. I'm not sure if you have all seen the study conducted by the Ministry of Social Development and its partners, where we realized that abuse against children, especially sexual abuse, is not inflicted upon kids by strangers, but in most cases by uncles, neighbors, and parents.